Hey everybody, Ron here. Welcome to Pool Student Channel, and thank you very much for watching, everyone. Look at who we've got here in the house. Oh man, Tony Robles, thank you, man.
Thank you for having me, Ron. It's a pleasure to have the opportunity to come here again.
Oh man, I appreciate it. And I got to tell you guys, we did a clinic here today in Grand Rapids. Tony did a magnificent job. Everybody was just so upbeat when they left, and they learned so much. If you guys ever get a chance to get him in your house or in your pool hall, get him in there, because you're not going to be sorry, really.
Thank you, Ron.
And listen here, this guy over here, some of you already know him. This is Lance. Remember the Efren Z shot that you guys saw on my channel? That's the man. I thought I had him locked up with my safety, but there's no locking up that guy, I got to tell you. So anyway, without further ado, what we're going to cover today is a kick shot, a two-rail kick shot. And I've been struggling because I want to say this. I've had a lot of you guys ask me if I would put together a great kick video, but I really don't know how to explain it or articulate it because I don't have a system. I kind of go with angle in, angle out. But Tony kind of walked through it with me last night. We were at the billiard hall, and I was super excited about sharing what he had to tell me with you, but I want him to do it so you guys can learn. Now, Chris Cameron, thank you very much for requesting this, because you've been on me about this, and this is especially for you. I appreciate you. You've been subscribed to my channel for so long. All you other subscribers, when you're hearing me, listen to me. If you got a request and I can cover it and help you in your game, let me know, and I'll do the best I can to present it to you. And luckily, we've got this great pro here that's going to do it for us tonight. So without further ado, Tony is going to show you the parallel shift type method for a two-rail kick. And I'm going to let him take over now.
Thank you, Ron.
You bet.
And thank you, Chris. All right, so the way this system works, at least the two-rail kicking system that I use, is if I'm behind, for example, the 5 board, I'm trying to kick the 13, what I do is I look for the midpoint between the cue ball and the ball that I'm trying to kick, which in this case is a 13. Once I establish that midpoint, I draw a line through that midpoint to the center of the lip of the pocket that's closest to the rail that I'm going to strike first. So this is it right here. Then once I've established that line through the midpoint, I simply lift up my cue stick and parallel it over until I get to the center of the cue ball. And wherever that stick is pointing on the rail, that's where you strike the cue ball, a half tip above the center of the cue ball and a half tip of left of running English. So if you wanted it, this is a tricky system in the sense that when you hit it with a half tip, you will almost always hit two rails and hit this ball dead solid. If you want to hit it a little on the thinner side, on this side, then you have to add a little bit more spin. There are two ways to make the adjustment. You can either hit it with a little bit more spin, or you can adjust the spot here. If you want to maintain the same half tip system going on, you can always move in quarter ball increments or half ball increments, depending on how the table is running. So let's try hitting right here. Midpoint, right here. Go right through the midpoint, parallel shift the cue stick until you get to the center of the cue ball, and that's your point right there. So let's try to hit this dead square if we can. And the most important thing is learn how to hit with enough speed so that when you go two rails and you hit this ball dead on, you send it towards the rail, therefore creating a possible safety shot. Even though you're not leaving your opponent behind a ball, I learned something from Bobby Hall many years ago, where he basically told me sometimes it's better to do what's easiest. And most of the time or a lot of the times when you're playing a safe, it's not always possible to hide the cue ball behind another ball. So when you're kicking, as a general rule, you want to hit most of these kick shots softly. If you need to actually stand on that side of the table and pretend you have ball in the hand and you're just doing a simple safety would be hit the 13 and just stop it by the rail, right? If you want to keep it simple. So now, let's try this again. Midpoint, parallel shift, half a tip above the center, and a half a tip of running spin. Right? That's a decent hit there. Let's try it again. Maybe I added a little too much spin. Let's take a little spin off. Half a tip. That's it right there. Right? I mean, yeah, the bank might be on, whatever. It all depends on the level of player you're playing. Now, let's say that you're playing someone that's a good banker. You know, if you end up kicking two rails and leave them there, they might quite possibly end up banking the ball 90% of the time or higher, then what you do is you can aim for the same point and add an extra half tip of spin. So that way, when the cue ball widens and it hits here as opposed to there, it increases the chances of you hitting this ball thin. And that ball will either hit here and go back while the cue ball comes up, Tom, or the ball will go into the pocket. All right, so again, midpoint, parallel shift. This time I'm gonna hit it with a little bit more spin while keeping the spot the same. See? Now I'd rather leave my opponent that than to leave him a dead bank shot in the side pocket. Let's try that one more time. Midpoint, parallel shift, half tip more spin. Okay, I want to hit a little fuller, but I got away with it. Look at that, I got rewarded, right? I got rewarded for hitting the correct side. One more time, midpoint, parallel shift. Yeah. I must have that one down pat because I'm hitting that one good.
Yeah.
So that means that if I shoot it again and I hit it with even a little more spin, I might be able to make the ball. So let's see how close we can get to making the ball. Midpoint, parallel shift, same spot, little more spin.
Oh, wow.
Right? There you go.
Nice.
And there you have it.
Hey guys, I really enjoyed that. I'll tell you what, we kept it simple. We put together just a little 2-cushion kick system that you guys can go back and try and see if it helps you. I want to thank Tony once again for sharing this with us tonight. And if you guys have any comments, please leave them in the comment section below. If you've not subscribed to my channel, please subscribe. And we're going to be covering more stuff down the road. I also want to thank Lance, my sparring partner here. We're going to get into some one-pocket shooting tonight. The other night we played till 3:30 in the morning. I don't know how late tonight we're going to play, but we're going to do some of that. Tony's got to get back, and he's going next to Ohio, Wilmington, Ohio, to the Predator Tour tournament. And I'm going to be going down there. So if anybody is from Ohio and you want to look me up, keep an eye out for me. I'll probably be wearing this hat. Maybe that'll help you guys. So you'll recognize me that way. But I'm looking forward to seeing you guys. And I'm definitely looking forward to rooting this guy on. I want him to win the tournament. Okay, thanks everybody once again. And like I always say, keep on practicing.